付き合ってもらえませんか?
A plain-looking boy was forced by bullies to confess his love to the school's most popular girl. They watched with glee, ready to film his embarrassment, and the boy was fully prepared to be rejected. To everyone's shock, she said yes on the spot.
いいですよ。
The popular girl asked for his name in class, then politely asked Kamaya to wait for her in the classroom after school. Kamaya didn't think much of it, figuring she was just joking. But sure enough, she showed up. She introduced herself first. Her name was Maori. Her reason for coming? She wanted to talk to Kamaya in detail about the do's and don'ts of dating. Kamaya wasted no time telling her the truth. A close friend of his had been constantly harassed by the bullies. They'd made a deal: if Kamaya publicly confessed to Maori, whether she said yes or no, they'd leave his friend alone. He sincerely apologized to Maori for the fake confession. Maori told him he had nothing to apologize for. He'd stood up for his friend, and that mattered. Instead, she suggested they pretend to be a couple. After all, someone had posted the confession video on TikTok, and everyone already thought they were dating. If the real reason got out, it would be a nightmare to explain. Since it would help both of them get what they wanted, Maori laid out 3 rules for their fake relationship.
1、放課後まではお互い話しかけないこと。2、連絡のやり取りはできるだけ簡潔にすること。3、本気で好きにならないこと。
Kamaya nodded in agreement. Maori snapped a photo of them together and officially announced their couple status online. To keep up the charade, Maori suggested they get to know each other better. She pulled out a notebook she carried everywhere and jotted down Kamaya's name and birthday. At first, Kamaya didn't think twice about it, but slowly, he noticed something. Maori had that notebook with her everywhere. She wrote down practically every word he said. He wanted to ask why, but felt too awkward. Maybe it was just a habit of hers. As the days went by, the two became good friends. Maori even introduced him to her most trusted best friend. Every day after school, the 3 of them would hang out at her friend's house. And Maori? She still had her nose buried in that notebook, writing non-stop. She'd even take dozens of photos of the sunset, something they saw every single day with her phone.
ねえ、ちょっと撮りすぎじゃない？写真に残すよりもしっかりと目に焼き付けた方がいいと思うけど。
残しておかないと忘れちゃうから。全部。
Kamaya didn't pay much attention to her obsession with documenting things. On Sunday, they went to the beach for a picnic. Kamaya had brought all kinds of homemade dishes, and Maori raved about how delicious they were after just one bite. She asked him how he'd gotten so good at cooking. Kamaya told her it had everything to do with his family. When he was little, his mom had passed away from a heart condition. Before she died, she'd left him a notebook filled with recipes for all his favorite foods. That's why he'd learned to fend for himself at such a young age. With the sea breeze blowing and delicious food to eat, Maori listened to Kamaya talk about his family. Before long, she started feeling drowsy and drifted off to sleep mid-conversation. But when she woke up, everything felt strange. She didn't recognize the boy sitting next to her, or even know why she was there. Maori was terrified. Everything around her felt foreign, and she had no memory of how she'd ended up at the beach.
ごめんなさい。私、なんで？
どうした？
失礼します。
ひな！
事故に遭うまでの記憶はちゃんと残ってるんだけど、それ以降の新しい記憶は一度眠ると全部忘れちゃうみたい。だから日記を書いて次の日の私に伝えてる。
When Maori woke up, she had no idea how she'd ended up there. Panicked, she pulled out her phone from her bag. Spotting a contact labeled "Trusted Best Friend," she called right away. Maori told her friend about her confusion, and her friend urged her to calm down. There's definitely a notebook in your bag. Take it out and read it. Everything will make sense, she said. As Maori flipped through the notebook, she finally learned the truth. She had anterograde amnesia. Every time she fell asleep, she forgot everything that had happened. 3 years ago, Maori had gotten into a car accident while protecting a child, and the injury left her with this condition. Her memory only lasted a day, so every morning, her first task was to find her most recent diary entries. Without them, she had no clue what had transpired in her life. After reading the diary and looking at the photos inside, Maori realized she and Kamaya were in a fake relationship. She told Kamaya the truth. Now he understood why she'd been writing in the notebook nonstop. To avoid causing him unnecessary trouble, Maori decided to end their fake romance. But Kamaya smiled gently and said, "No one wants to wake up and read something upsetting in their diary. You don't have to write down what happens for the rest of today." Just then, Maori's best friend arrived. She was about to explain everything, but Kamaya stopped her. "It's not necessary," he said. That night, Maori wrote about her day in her diary. But after thinking it over, she tore the page out. She couldn't bear to let go of this warm, sunny boy. The next day after class, Maori found Kamaya and thanked him for the delicious food he'd made the day before. Kamaya guessed she hadn't written down their conversation in her diary. Determined to fill her notes with joy, he took Maori to countless places, treated her to all kinds of food, and even taught her how to ride a bike. Maori wrote every moment down. For her, every date with Kamaya felt like the first time, but whenever she read her notes, she knew this boy was like a ray of warm sunshine, healing her little by little. Kamaya told his older sister, who was a writer, about his relationship with Maori. He wasn't sure if he was doing the right thing, but her words put his mind at ease.
彼女が日記を開けば、そこにいつもあなたがいるのよね。
そうだから日記を楽しいことで埋めて、それを読んだ彼女が毎日少しでも前向きでいてくれたらいいなって。
トールに大切な人ができてよかった。
Lately, Maori had been growing more and more troubled. Her notebook was filled with so much information that she could barely finish reading it each morning. She wondered how much longer she could keep this up. But then Kamaya appeared. The second she saw his sunny smile, all her worries melted away. She knew she'd keep going for him. The two picked out a pair of cute cartoon keychains at a convenience store. Watching them, Maori's best friend felt happy for her, but she still had a lingering concern. How long could Kamaya keep this up? After all, a notebook could never capture every little detail of their lives. After school that day, Anna stopped Kamaya. Tonight, the winners of various writing awards would be announced, and Kamaya's sister might appear on screen. Maori suggested they wait at her place. Shortly after entering her room, Kamaya noticed the cartoon keychain they'd bought together hanging on Maori's bag. He hadn't expected her to keep it, but Maori was confused. She had no memory of adding the keychain to her bag. Her notebook couldn't possibly record every little detail.
なんだっけ。
ほら、水族館行った時のだよ。
そっかそっか。
ねえ、このペンギンちょっと神谷に似てない？
そうかな。
ごめん。プリンのスプーン忘れたから。ちょっと取ってくる。
Kamaya felt a twinge of disappointment. His first instinct was to run away, and that's exactly what Anna had feared.
逃げんの？覚悟してたんじゃないの？こんなことも。マオリはさ、毎朝これ見てたまらない気持ちになってるはずなの。でも日記を読んで自分を奮い立たせてる。絶望と向き合ってもいつも笑ってる。絶対に逃げないんだよ。決めたんじゃなかったの？そんなマオリの毎日を楽しくするって。
It was only then that Kamaya realized Maori read through that thick notebook every morning when she woke up. If she could face her condition head-on, how could he run from something so trivial? Kamaya noticed Maori still remembered how to ride a bike, and she could draw his portrait purely from muscle memory. After looking it up, he learned this was called procedural memory. Things learned through physical sensation and muscle memory are never forgotten. Maori's drawings of him were getting more and more accurate, so he encouraged her to keep drawing, hoping it might help her condition improve. And Maori could feel it too. Even though she lost her memories of each day, her drawing skills kept getting better. From that day on, Maori made a habit of drawing Kamaya nonstop. One day, Maori fell in love with a hair accessory. It was too expensive for her to buy, but to her surprise, Kamaya gave it to her as a gift. This boy kept bringing hope into her life, turning her desperate mornings into happy ones. Even if her memories couldn't accumulate, love could live forever in her heart. Of the 3 rules they'd agreed on for their fake relationship, 2 had already been broken without them noticing. Now Maori was ready to break the 3rd. In that moment, she felt immense happiness. But then she remembered, her memory couldn't hold onto such important moments. The warmth Kamaya gave her would be gone by tomorrow. The thought filled her heart with sharp pain. And as if he'd read her mind, Kamaya reached for her hand.
僕はずっと日野のそばにいるから。
私、3つ目のルール破ってもいい？
僕はとっくに破ってる。
From that moment on, they became a real couple. However, on their college graduation day, Kamaya didn't show up. Only Anna knew the truth. Kamaya had talked to her privately. He'd always had a weak heart, but never any serious issues, until recently, when he'd suddenly fainted. It wasn't life-threatening, but knowing his mother had died of a heart condition, he feared he might have a sudden attack too. So he asked Anna, if anything happened to him, to erase all memories of him from Maori's notebook. Anna agreed, though she thought the chance of it happening was slim.
弟は今朝亡くなりました。昨日の夜、不整脈で倒れて、そのまま意識が戻らなくて。
The moment Maori laid eyes on Kamaya,
おかしいよね。彼のこと。記憶にないのに、顔だって。写真でしか、日記でしか覚えてもないのに。おかしいよね。
おかしくない。誰が見ても2人はお似合いの恋人だったから。おかしくなんかないよ。
After returning home, Maori lost her mind. It felt like half her life had been torn away from her. Anna couldn't bear to watch Maori suffer any longer, so she decided to carry out Kamaya's plan. Kamaya's sister had agreed to help. Since it was her brother's unfulfilled last wish, she was determined to see it through. While Maori slept, Anna took the notebook, made a copy at the library, and Kamaya's sister set to work altering the original, erasing every mention of Kamaya completely. But the notebook was so meticulously detailed that even as a writer herself, she found herself tearing up midway through the edits. Her hands trembled uncontrollably, and in the end, she broke down into tears. Meanwhile, as Anna tidied Maori's room, she accidentally discovered a hidden compartment with a sticky note inside. "Don't forget Kamaya." In the end, Anna copied all the original content onto a USB drive and replaced the files on Maori's phone. From that day on, Kamaya vanished entirely from Maori's world. When Maori woke up, she read her notebook as usual, and life returned to what it had been before. But then something changed. She seemed to remember what had happened the previous day. For example, she clearly recalled injuring her foot after stepping on a paint palette. After a doctor's examination, it was confirmed that Maori's amnesia was indeed improving. While tidying the house with her mother, she unexpectedly found a sketchbook in the bookshelf. She told Anna about her progress. Even though she could only remember one extra day so far, she was hopeful that her memories would continue to return gradually. She pulled out the sketchbook and asked Anna, "Who is this boy? Why did I draw so many portraits of him? Yet there's no mention of him in my notebook." Anna lied, saying he'd been a model she'd hired once, who'd since moved abroad. Later that day, Anna couldn't help but take out the original notebook. Seeing the sticky note, "Don't forget Kamaya" again, she hesitated. Should she tell Maori the truth? When Anna arrived at Maori's house, what she saw left her stunned.
なんかあの人の絵ばっかり描いちゃうんだよね。クロッキー帳に書かれてた男の人、手が覚えてるみたいに何枚も何枚も。
She couldn't keep the secret any longer. She had to tell her. Anna handed Maori the original notebook. "This is the real one," she said. As Maori flipped through the pages, everything finally made sense. She now understood why she'd been able to draw a boy she had no memory of so accurately, purely by instinct. It was this boy who'd pulled her out of the endless cycle of repeated days. It was he who'd made her happy every single day during her amnesia and given her a reason to keep living. He'd watched over her quietly, right up until his last day. And now, this boy existed only in the pages of her notebook. Maori could now remember the past few days, though she still couldn't recall Kamaya. One night, while camping at the beach with Anna, Maori lay down and fell asleep, just like she had before. When she opened her eyes, for a fleeting moment, it was as if she'd seen Kamaya again.
Oh, 目覚めた。
In this world, many things are lost and eventually forgotten. But there's one thing that remains etched in our hearts, never fading. That thing is love. Even if I can't remember who you are, the paintbrush in my hand will always remind me not to forget. Even if this love fades from the world tonight, I will draw you by heart.